WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out bright future, we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
It's me. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, wherever you are, whenever you are. This is, of course, our reaction to the win over Millwall, 3-1 at Selhurst Park, and we'll also react to the draw which has just happened, and we now know who we will face. So let's get straight into that. We are going to be going to Craven Cottage to face Fulham in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, an all-London affair, a stadium that we do well at. I'm right away joined by Dan.
One sec, I'm just changing my name.
That's
One
it.
second. How you doing? You all right, mate?
I'm great. We'll catch up with everyone as and when they join. We're expecting JC and Rich momentarily. So Fulham away, Dan. Instant reaction for you, please.
You know what? Actually, I'm I'm quite happy with that. The only thing I think, the only fixture I would have maybe preferred would have been Preston at home or something like Preston, really.
Yeah.
I think we've already beaten them away this season.
Yeah,
and I think it works well for us because I think Fulham's away form is better than their home form, and our away form is obviously better than our home form. And you know, I think we've already beaten them this season. We beat them pretty comprehensively as well. And bearing in mind that they still had a relatively strong side, like the only player I think they were missing was Lukic.
Lukic played.
What? Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So did they miss anyone? Did they miss anyone in that game then?
No, they were full strength.
Well, there you go then. Full strength, and I think we obviously still had some players to come back still. So yeah, I'm more than happy with that. Also, I didn't get to go to Fulham away this year because I was working, so it's another opportunity for me to get in
here. The exact same here. JC, your instant reaction drawing Fulham away in the quarterfinal.
Not the end of the world, is what I would say. It could have been a lot. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
and it could have been slightly better. And I am happy that obviously City and Bournemouth are playing against each other, so a good team's going out there. I think Villa got Preston, and then it's Ipswich or Forest versus Brighton. So you know, some good teams are going out minimum. But that's obviously also saying hopefully that we're going to, if we do go through.
The implications for a semi-final Brighton game could be. Let's not.
So how does
too
it?
Far ahead.
Remind me, how does it work? Does it get redrawn again for the next round, or is it actually like a set pathway? It's redrawn again. We
get redrawn.
God, honestly, see, this is the thing, right? Because I did think about what happens if we got Brighton or something in this draw, and honestly, I don't think I could take it. Like,
right?
Obviously, I know the playoffs were obviously a big deal, but I don't know. Like, yeah.
I mean, there is a possibility for there to be a Palace Brighton final.
No, that's even worse. No, that's.
I couldn't do it.
Right, we've got everyone here now, so I'll go at it. JC, how are you doing? You're fresh from Crystal Palace training, it looks like.
Yeah.
Is that it? You yeah? How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Great.
I've got a really bad headache, so yeah.
Paracetamol is your friend, sir. Rich, how you doing, man?
Doesn't work.
Yeah, not too bad. A bit annoyed. I was going to show something tactically, but I think someone's changed the camera settings on the laptop. So I was trying to figure that out, and it's not working.
Oh dear.
But I'm good though.
Good stuff. March has arrived, guys. We're in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup, obviously. Now, all three of you had the pleasure of going to the game. Unfortunately, I missed everything because I was away with my family. Talk to me about the emotions of the game before the game even started. What was the build-up around Selhurst Park? What did it feel like? Did it properly? Because the last time we faced Millwall, we were at the Den. JC, you were there. What the crowd obviously were up for it. But what were the general emotions in the crowd before the game started?
There was a scrap, which was quite funny to watch, but it didn't last very long. I think a Millwall fan made his way into the Palace end. He thought he was going to get backed by some of his boys. No one backed him. About 6 or 7 Palace fans went over there and kicked the you-know-what out of him. So when he got up, he ran back to the away end, and we never saw him again. So, brilliant.
There we go. Just a few comments just before we get into it. Big up Brush, smash that like on the way in, as his team is on the way out of the FA Cup.
Damn.
That's such a par.
That is nasty work.
That is such a par, man.
The dog thought we would get City away, but there we go. A lot of people say repeating the draw. UK, big up UK Pat says he thinks it's winnable. Big up Tim, Fulham away is a decent draw. The dog says Bournemouth getting City is great, and Villa versus Preston is great for us. Big up Durfez says Fulham is easily winnable. We won last time 4-1. We can do it again. The dog saying Palace, Villa, Forest, and Bournemouth likely to be the winners. Damo, are you not happy with that draw? Were you hoping for someone else?
You wanted City away.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Tim. We now know they'll face the winners of Ipswich and Nottingham Forest. Dogs says we limited.
Come on, Forest.
We limited Fulham to 0.2 xG. Big up Chairman says hope we get the whole away end at Fulham. At the moment, I think we go up to 10 or 11% probability to win the trophy. Interesting. Could be good. Think we have a good chance at Fulham. There we go. A question. There we go. You guys explain tactically how we could have probably have beaten Forest. Dan and JC, there's a question for you two. Put your tactical hats on.
Try and bait them out their low block. I think really is the main thing. Try and catch them in there in the middle somewhere, so they don't have time to set in it. I would say without looking into it too much.
Yeah, I would also say try and do what we have done against other teams, where the higher we keep our fullbacks, the further back they can keep theirs. Because Aina and Williams, they're playing very well and they're adding a lot to the attack. Because when they move up the pitch, you allow Hudson-Odoi or Elanga to go a little bit more central, and they're making so many chances for Chris Wood in the box. You've got to try and keep that to a minimum.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and fly through as many comments as we can, guys. Tim says, honestly, I'd be a bundle of nerves if we make the final and it's against Brighton, but that match and atmosphere would be absolute box office.
Tim, would you come to the UK just for that game? You'd have to.
Pat, I can't put that one. I can't put that comment up. JC, you're going to have to answer that one. You said Rich T was banned, said Earth. He's muted.
You're muted, Rich.
I always forget. Not banned, sacked from player ratings.
No, you can put that up from Pat. Pat, there's a magical thing called a washing machine.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what that is. His mum uses it.
Oh, yeah.
So he does know what it is if his mum uses it.
He doesn't know how to use it.
There's the difference.
Okay, all right, fine. All right.
Dev is commenting, lots of police intense. It's a South London derby.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to say, because obviously JC mentioned about the atmosphere inside the ground and what had happened there. But outside, it was well controlled. Like, there was like I went up intentionally. I think you saw in the vlog just to see what it was like. They were literally like bottlenecked. There was going to be no issues yesterday. They did their homework.
Fair enough.
I think, to be fair, I think our ground's quite easy to police because it's literally like obviously you come out Norwood Junction, turn left, and then it's just one right. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very, very easy to police, and I think they do the same with Brighton as well when they come up.
Unfortunately, it's Millwall, Pat. It's Millwall. They're known for that. Damon wanted Preston away. He wanted to get the on paper easy draw, but there are no.
I'm not mad at that. Like I'm not saying that Fulham's
anything
the worst
at home.
draw.
It needs to be at home, which is the ideal thing.
Yeah. At this stage, you're trying to get the easiest route possible.
This is the most important thing, guys. Thank goodness after following this game, Mateta is doing well. We'll talk about that later on with myself taking charge of that one. Tim says, I try like hell, Jersey. Not entirely up to me, though. If
Chelsea? Who's that?
I said JC.
You didn't.
I thought you said Jazzy. Too jazzy.
I thought you said Kelsey.
I thought you said Kelsey. Maybe I'm speaking a bit too fast. I'm trying to run through comments.
God,
I know I said JC.
This is like the Laurel and Yanni thing, isn't it?
15% of Fulham Stadium is 4K. Jake, I don't even know what that one was. JC playing COD while he's talking. He is a legend.
It's not Call of Duty, and it's not me playing. So,
Mateta with 26 stitches in his ear, and they tried to say it wasn't a bad injury. Are we happy with Fulham away? I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Could it be worse?
Yeah.
Could it be worse?
Not really confident about playing Fulham away.
I mean, we beat them 2-0 and they didn't have a shot on target.
Yeah. But I see where he's coming from. I don't think they'll be as bad as they were against us. I mean, to be fair, they weren't even that good today.
No, they weren't.
Big up Old the Bear says, Cup luck draw ran out. Perhaps he's not too happy about getting Fulham. Yeah, that's a point. Why are we calling Animal a clown there? Tim says pretty heated up at the Millwall fans yesterday. Wasn't exactly nice in my comments to the player ratings yesterday. Sorry about that, guys. We need to probably think about how we change our formation to handle a Mateta loss. Hopefully as plan B, but plan A if Mateta takes more time to recover. Big up now.
I've got an idea for that, but I don't know if it will be popular.
Big up now says FA Cup is wide open this year. If you take Man City out the conversation, I think you need to also take Aston Villa out of that equation because I think they, on paper, could be the front runners for this competition.
Yeah, just quickly on the whole Mateta formation change. And I know he's on a good bit of goal scoring form. I wouldn't be mad seeing Saga up top. At least we can still play the same way.
Yeah,
because he does win his fair share of headers and he's decent, like holding the ball up. So that's just my take.
I just change how we play and literally just do a straight swap for Nketiah instead of coming to feet going behind.
I'd probably play Eddie as well. I think he's getting a bit of confidence, bit of form. So I wouldn't be mad at that.
Got a few goals. I'm also with Rich on this. I think Ismail Assar is probably the option to go with. Granted, Nketiah has gotten himself 2 goals in the last 2 games, so a bit of confidence boost him. But I think just keeping it as close as to what we naturally play works for us. Right, are we happy to get straight into the game? Because the first point of this game is something that I asked for a bit of time to talk about. I will need the 3 of you's help with this one. So we are going to obviously talk about Liam Roberts' challenge on Jean-Philippe Mateta, a huge incident practically into the start of the game. Now, I have made some notes on this, so you will excuse me. I do need to make my go half and half on the screen. Right. So ball is in the air. Roberts' challenge is a high foot challenge on Jean-Philippe Mateta, deemed dangerous. In the eyes of rules, it is serious foul play, which leads to an immediate red card. That is according to the laws of the game. Michael Oliver doesn't appear to whistle immediately, perhaps because following the ball moving away, it falls directly into the feet of Daniel Munoz. Perhaps I'm not defending this. I want to preface that. So the trolls in the chat, hold your noise for just a few minutes. Perhaps he views it as a chance on goal and is looking to play advantage, but he doesn't make the obvious arm signal, or you don't see a call for advantage to be played. So that negates that. But obviously he waits for the ball to be out of play or away from that goal scoring opportunity. That in of itself, as I think, is the wrong decision. Should have blown the whistle straight away, stopped play. You've got a player who's just had a huge head injury. He's in clear view of it, doesn't blow the whistle and stop the play. No matter what happens, granted, if Munoz scores a screamer from his position, you stop the game. The thing that mystifies me, the man needed VAR intervention when he is in clear view of it. This is supposed to be one of the top referees in the UK and perhaps across the UEFA division of referees. Balmy decision, absolutely balmy. Doesn't show a red card immediately, so obviously he's, not second guessing himself. He's not at all making a judgment call. He's waiting for VAR to go to have a look at it. Now, a lot of people, across social media and a lot of across various outlets commenting that, is it, what happened? What is the rules on this? So the free kick isn't immediately awarded. Now, according to Law 12 of free kicks and penalty kicks, a direct free kick is awarded if a player commits any of the following offences in a manner considered by the referee to be 1, careless, 2, reckless, or 3, using excessive force. This is a player charging, a player jumping at, a player kicks or attempts to kick, strikes or attempts to strike, which includes a headbutt, so that's more hand-to-hand, tackles or challenges. The definition of reckless is when a player acts with disregard to the danger or consequences for an opponent and must be cautioned. That's a yellow card. Using excessive force is when a player exceeds the necessary use of force and endangers the safety of an opponent and must be sent off. And last point, impedes an opponent with contact. Now, taking out the strikes or attempts to strike, including headbutt point there, I think we can all agree that all of those points are deemed excessive force. Do we agree on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Now, this is serious foul play, as quoted by Oliver Glasner in his post-match press conference. A tackle or challenge that endangers the safety of an opponent or uses as excessive force or brutality must be sanctioned as serious foul play. And any player who lunges at an opponent in challenging for the ball from the front, which is what happened, using one or both legs, that's the key point here, with excessive force and / or endangers the safety of an opponent, is guilty of serious foul play. Now, my first question for you all is...
Sorry, Nick, just quickly.
Go on.
We've all expressed our thoughts. What's your thoughts on everything that happened yesterday with that challenge? Because obviously we were at the game. Like, how do you feel about it?
I think the challenge is horrific. It's stupid. Like a goalkeeper that rushes off of his line, let alone leaves the box, has no margin of error. You must get that right. You cannot leave your box or area and think that you're not going to get the ball. You must get the ball. There is no margin of error for that. Obviously, he's gone up high. His foot's made contact with Mateta's head, and that it could have been a career-ending situation for Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's down and getting treatment for 10 minutes with oxygen. It's probably one of the worst challenges I've seen in a while. Obviously, there's a history of them. Like, you can go back and watch some of the worst challenges. I think it's up there, and it is dangerous. And I think I'm not going to say Liam Roberts meant to do it. I don't think he has any malice in that challenge because it's first 10 minutes of the game. No one player is out there unless you've got a serious problem in your head. The decision is correct. It is a straight red card. Whether or not there's added matches on top of that, I think is not for me to comment on because I think everyone's going to disagree or agree. But the challenge was disgusting. And I'm not going to like agree with Steve Parrish saying, oh, he needs to take a good long look at himself. I think obviously Mateta has pushed the last defender out of the way. He's in a goal scoring opportunity. And then the keeper leaves his line. So he's not trusting that last defender. He's not trusting himself to stay on his line and attempt to save it. So, yeah, he's made the mistake. And he'll obviously pay the price with a 3-match ban from all competitions. So I think Roberts just made a mistake on the day, but obviously does need to somewhat calm down on making challenges like that because you are putting someone's life at risk there. Because if that had hit his head, or if that had hit another part of his head, rather, that is Mateta at best. The consequence of he's going to be out for a while. At worst, well, you've killed a man, because that is, that's going to lead to a huge chain of consequences. But that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a horrible challenge, and I think a lot of I've actually tried to yesterday search for like Millwall viewpoints on it, and whether it's X, whether it's through their vlogs or their post-match, whatever it may be, and their justification for it is he won the ball, he's follow through. Big man, head of the ball, innit? As soon as you leave your box, you're an outfield player. Head of the ball.
Yeah.
His technique to clear the ball, it was terrible anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was always going to end in that manner.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can shut up as well, to be fair.
Yes, they can.
And I think because that argument also falls down as well. Like, if you say for example, you go like shin high on someone. Okay, yeah, you win the ball, but if you follow through and you go through their shin, that's obviously not a good tackle, is it?
That's happened to us. Remember, Bournemouth at home with Mamadou Sakho. He cleared the ball. It was a good clearance. The ball was gone, but the follow through, he dug one of the Bournemouth players in the shin, and he got sent off anyway. So, and that was like on the floor. Like Mamadou Sakho was slide tackling the guy, whereas this is at head high. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
Jean-Philippe Mateta's 6'4". He's got to get up high to get his leg up as high as he did, and also, yes, he did get the ball. He kicked the ball.
He did connect with the ball.
But
so I've got a few.
Let's not get it twisted. The connection with the ball, he nearly missed it. It literally rolled off of his leg. So the clearance weren't really no clearance. If he didn't follow through, Mateta's got a tap in. So that argument falls apart there again. But I just think it's the main takeaway from all of this is Mateta's okay. And how 100%. Awful is it that the referee can't give that a red card straight away or even blow up instantly because it's a head injury? No?
Yeah.
Why do we have to play on?
Him trying to play on to see if there's an advantage is stupid.
Yeah, I only said that just to play devil's advocate and just, try and give context. But I've got a few screenshots here from the benefit of like the BBC broadcast and from various other media outlets. So you see that immediately Roberts's feet have left the ground. And then
what was he aiming to do there? Like, that's mad.
So you can see how the ball goes sideways. It doesn't go up.
Yeah, so that is straight away.
Go back to the first image, please, Nikki.
Yep, there you go.
Why can't he head
Sweet.
it there? And not only that, why is he out of the box? There's a defender there.
So with the benefit of, I think I've got a few other. Yeah. So right, here we go. Mateta's. You see, obviously, Jean-Philippe Mateta and the last Millwall defender there, heading in. Now, obviously, that you see the physical battle here. Mateta is always going to win a physical battle, you know, when he's got enough momentum behind him. And then this is just as Roberts' feet lift off the ground. You see,
Look at the
Mateta has won
eyeliner
that
Oliver's
physical
got
battle
as well. Fucking
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
There's the key points. Look at Michael Oliver right there on the right hand side of your screen. I'll go back. Look again. This is the first screenshot. Still clear view. Still a clear view. No one's impeding the view of that. And then obviously contact is there. Now, yes, Roberts does get the ball. So this screenshot that I took here, I went down to 0.25 speed on the YouTube highlights on the BBC channel, and
Yeah,
that
got
is
a professional hacker here. Damn.
This is immediately after the ball. This is immediately after the ball leaves Roberts' foot. So yes, he got the ball, but it's the follow through, and it's deemed unnecessary because it's excessive force to be shown to be clearing a ball. And then obviously, like, you've just got like this one I've taken off. Like, look at that.
But anyway, as well,
But
even
you-
if something is an excessive force, if you kick the ball too high and it goes near someone's face, it's a foul anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that he's then made contact with his face, studs up, is very much like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how they're saying that. A lot of them are fat enough. They never played football before, so you know, I'm not surprised they think it's fair game.
So obviously you can just about make out Liam Roberts' left hand just below his leg there. And that's immediately after contact, and then it's there. Like, look at that. That is utterly ridiculous. But yeah, like, would you guys say that Roberts needs to hold a longer suspension, or would you say the 3 matches is enough? Because obviously a lot of neutrals, a lot of Palace fans saying 10 matches. Like, obviously Tristan's fan cam, he wanted to see a massive ban for Liam Roberts. Yeah, what would you say? What would you say needs to be the consequence of that foul, guys?
I mean, I'm trying to think, because, like, I think because by the laws of the game, violent conduct is just a free game ban anyway. Whether you go through someone's shin or whatever, or you rake someone's Achilles or whatever, like what's his name did to Zaha all those years ago.
Capu.
I mean that is a free game ban, and I guess the additional is whatever competition. I guess the argument really should be, should it be more for like serious foul play and stuff like that? That's more the argument, I think, because like if I compare that to say the Achilles one, I mean the Achilles one, okay, like I thought was more intentional, for example.
The referee didn't even give him a card. I think they only gave him a yellow for that. I think if you're gonna make that kind of judgment, I think it'll be almost as interesting to see what Cunha's punishment is today.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say that was as bad, but I feel like that one was actually malicious, where he actually intentionally went to punch him, kick him, and headbutt him when he got up again. But whereas this one is very much, you know, he's trying to he at the end of the day, he is trying to play the game. He's not trying to just kick him for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think no matter what we say, we've been done dirty just no matter what, because they're actually in a different league to us. So even if he gets a ban in that league, it doesn't benefit us at all. Our striker's the one that's injured, and theirs is not. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really benefit us with whatever kind of ban it is. But I feel like whatever happens, I think probably Millwall need to pay for. I think Durfez is right. Need to pay the compensation to the hospitals and all that stuff for getting him back fit again, but potentially. But what else do you really say here? Because violent conduct, or not even that, just it is a straight red.
Mhm.
You can't really argue for anything more than a 3-game ban and maybe like extra goalkeeping lessons. I don't really know because
Well,
he's
the
not
FA
maliciously done it.
Yeah, the FA have yet to even make a judgment on that, whether or not the club appeals for a long-term ban of that. But I think
There's no point.
there is no point. I mean, if this was the Championship, if we were both in the same league, perhaps. But as Animal says here, he's their second choice goalkeeper. It doesn't really affect them. So I think that, we won the game. Obviously, we won the day. So obviously, we've lost our first choice striker. And obviously, we have to deal with that. So I think the 3-match ban is enough because Millwall aren't, they're not even in the back of our heads now. That they're out of their heads at all.
Yeah, just on that
So-
quickly, Animal makes a point. He's their second choice keeper, so it's not even going to affect them. That's how mad it is. But
yeah,
I wouldn't go anything more than a 5. I think if 5-match ban max, 4 or 5, it just sends the president out for future ones. Because to be like, it was horrific. It was a poorly timed challenge, but I wouldn't say there wasn't intent to go and take his head off.
Yeah, I agree with Rich. I don't think he meant to do it. I think it was just dumb and reckless.
It was just reckless, very reckless. And I think Michael Oliver should hold a ban as well. That's disgraceful. Him and the linesman. Yeah. The linesman should be looking across the line anyway. And I don't even think he even put his flag up as a linesman. Normally, you see him doing this. I don't think he did anything.
And he would have had the best view of it, really, from that angle.
Big up Steve here, Fulham fan. Interesting draw and could go either way. He says the Millwall goalie should hold a 5-match ban.
Yeah,
well,
I think that'll be fair.
Yeah. Right. Thank you very much, guys, for letting me take the time to do that. Right. Let's talk about the rest of the game. Pretty much, I'm going to have to take a backseat because I've not watched the full game, so I don't have the benefit of minute-by-minute breakdowns and such. But I will just say that the first...
We are just absolutely happy that Tanganga, he runs Selhurst Park, yeah? Well, he's got a goal and assist
man of the match.
For us, so,
Tanganga is definitely man of the match for Crystal Palace. A goal and an assist. As JC said on Friday night, not on Friday night, on Saturday night.
What was that question?
Moon Friday.
No, I was opening up for comments.
Oh,
I didn't hear what you said.
I was waiting for somebody else to take over from there.
You cut out for a bit. That's why
oh, sorry. I was just saying, Tango, goal and assist. But before that goal, we do have a goal disallowed, I believe.
Oh yeah, Eddie Nketiah for handball. I mean, it was one of those ones where it got kicked at him, but the rules of the game, he benefits from it. Like, yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, Lerma's hands weren't in a natural position; they were like that. So, you can't complain about it. I'm not too fussed.
I think even if I've got this right, I think the rules are even if it's like totally accidental. I think in an attacking phase, I think it's always handball or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think something like that.
I think anyway. Probably in a defensive sense, if you're trying to clear the ball and it hits an arm, it's always a free kick or something like that.
Yeah,
but
we never clear the ball, so we don't get those kind of decisions.
Yeah. Obviously, we do go. Obviously, Tanganga scores an own goal. A pretty good own goal, to be fair. Decent header.
I mean, if you watch the highlights, sorry to cut you out there, Nicky,
yeah,
but if you watch the highlights, when Eze puts the ball back to Hughes, every single one of Millwall's defenders step up. Tanganga's the only guy that stands behind. And guess what? By doing that, Nketiah is allowed to drift. Or he looks offside, but he's not offside. Nketiah is allowed to drift into loads of space. And I think the most shocking part about it, he actually looks to score. I don't know. I don't know if you guys agree.
It was
with
a
that,
weird attempt of a heading clearance.
He moves his head as if he's trying to finish it, and you're thinking, "Good man, great finish."
In the same day, and I know this is quite cringy what Charlotte did, but in the same day that Will scores and assists in his debut.
Also, saying on that,
why did he put the crown in him?
How cringe was the crown, and then the throne, and then
wait, hang on, didn't they put out a really weird tweet as well? I can't remember what it was.
It was so Palace.
It's
not Palace, MLS, sorry.
It's
so MLS.
It is the most cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
For our American viewers, I mean, Tim, if you are going to join the stream later, we need to discuss that.
Yeah, that is cringe. It's poor. For the whole of America should be ashamed.
Yeah. Obviously, we do got 2-0. So I'm just literally just grabbing up the screenshot I made on my phone of it so I can talk about it properly. So the ball's in a bit of a scramble inside the 6-yard box for Millwall, and
that clearance was funny.
The clearance was funny. It comes off of Tanganga's arm, falls right to Daniel Munoz, and it's judged by VAR to be a goal because the ball has played off of Tanganga's arm. Ball is back in play. Munoz just pops it right back in the back of the net. 2-0. Yeah. Not much else to say about that one. Munoz is in the right place at the right time. Yeah. He knows obviously knows that he's onside, knows the rules of the game. Millwall obviously don't, and they can't clear for anything.
I would say it's more of a striker's instinct just to be in that kind of situation, because to be fair, he was miles offside, Nicky. He was miles offside. He didn't mean to be there. He was just sort of offside, coming back from an offside position when the ball got recycled. The Millwall player panicked the second he saw Saab pressing him, hoofed the ball, and, Tanganga's chest control there put it straight into Munoz's feet. And, striker's instinct to just think, I'm just going to put it in the net and see what happens. And, that's something that's really underrated as well, because I would imagine that most players, they just see it happen and go, I'm offside, and just walk away from it. But he put it in and just hoped for the best. But I think the reason why is because the Millwall player kicked it and then it came off of their player, which is why it wasn't offside. Whereas if he kicked it and went straight to Munoz, it probably would have been offside.
Mm-hmm. It's not all plain sailing for Crystal Palace before half-time. We go and concede. Ball played in from, if I get my left as right, which I never. Ball plays in from the left hand side.
Go like that, Nicky. Nicky, you can go like that. Okay.
Ball played in from the left hand side, which Turner pushes out. Bit of a scramble. Again, I know not a lot of people convinced with Matt Turner. And then, unfortunately, a heavy deflection of Ben Chilwell just puts the ball way out, and it's in the back of the net. At that point, guys, in the stadium, were we starting to feel a little bit nervy? Millwall getting themselves back into the game before half-time. What was the general emotion going into half-time?
I was on the concourse, so when it happened, so.
Rich, JC, what were your reactions to the Millwall goal?
I was just annoyed because and I said this to JC at the time. I was like, I really want to see the likes of Romain Esse and França. And as soon as they score, I'm thinking, oh, it might not happen now. Because you know how Glasgow takes these cup competitions very seriously, you know. But we'll discuss those two players later because I think they had a very positive impact in the way we played. Individual performances could have been better, but the way we played whilst they were on, I was impressed with.
I think one was better than the other, and one played a lot less than the other. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, but we were just. What I mean by that is we were just so much more dynamic.
Durfaz, let me answer your question here. We concede in the 30th minute of extra time. Do we get less extra time and ergo no goal if Oliver is quicker in giving a red for Roberts? It's not so much the red.
That's a good point, actually.
It's not so much. No, I disagree. It's not so much the red card. It's the 10 minutes of treatment for Jean-Philippe Mateta to give to stabilize him, oxygen, take him off the pitch, and bring Eddie Nketiah on as well. So plus the VAR check. So I think the amount of extra time added on is spot on correct.
Yeah, but we've still got to do better because we were actually in possession of the ball, tried a risky pass, lost it, and they broke.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just because of the highlight package that I've seen across everything, but it does look like for the majority of the first half, we're showing dominance. You know, we're in full control until that goal. A couple of good chances for Millwall in the second half, but you know, dealt with by the defence. Good clearance from Daniel Munoz. Good catch and save from Matt Turner off of the Millwall chance. But then Chris Richards heads it over into the Millwall box, and Eddie Nketiah with yet another super header. JC, you said this on Saturday night when that Eddie Nketiah, that's two great headers he's had. One against Arsenal in the League Cup, and now one in the FA Cup against Millwall. He does score good goals when it comes to airball.
Saturday night.
Was it Friday night?
It's getting worse.
I've had a lot. It's been my birthday, guys. Yeah, leave me alone.
So,
Friday night.
You go from Saturday night to Friday night.
I think I said to you guys after the game, how Crystal Palace is it to have a big guy, 6'4", that's rubbish with his head, but you've got Eddie Nketiah, he's a short guy that's really good with his head. It's just perfect for Crystal Palace, I'll say that. But, you know, if only you could bring these kind of goals into the Premier League, that's really all. But you could caveat that and say he hasn't really had a chance in the Premier League. But one thing I did say earlier on when I was talking to Chairman, I do think that in a weird way, this is a good opportunity for Nketiah to get a good run of games now in the team. So Mateta minimum is going to miss one game against Ipswich.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't surprise
Glasner
me.
mentioned it in his post-match, but then he heard that he was out of the hospital. I won't be surprised if this is a poker move from Glasner, you know.
Oh, what? Knowing that he's absolutely fine.
Yeah, because he was released yesterday, wasn't he? But Glasner said in his post-match that he'll miss one game. So Ipswich will probably prepare for an Eddie starts.
Sorry, I'm just reading a bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
A friend of mine just said, okay. Oh well, the FA are about to get involved in this game. This is confirmed that the FA will be investigating chants directed at Ben Chilwell from a section of the away support.
Yeah, there was homophobic chants to Chilwell. There was obviously the let him die to Mateta, and there was also reports of racism to a 6-year-old child, a 6-year-old girl, I believe it was. You know, that club's they're just scum. Just delete them.
Unfortunately, good thing you brought up the Mateta chants. The FA have said that they will not be investigating the let him die chants.
The thing with the let him die ones, We sung it about 20 minutes later.
Yeah, when one of their players did their ankle.
Fair enough. So it's his give and take. Right. Well, that's it for the goals. Obviously, we win the game. Obviously, it's a great occasion for us. Yeah.
Do your player ratings, Nikki, and then we'll drop the link.
My player ratings. Oh God, let me go grab the lineup.
Matt Turner.
Flipping drop me in it, why don't you?
Hey,
Matt.
What do you mean
Matt
drop you in it? I messaged you at 1958.
Brother, we're on stream. I've only now just switched my phone on because I got sent something.
Matt Turner.
Right. Thank you, JC. 6.
Chilwell.
Unfortunate that he caused the deflection. 6.
Mark.
7.
Lacroix.
7. I think it was just a
Richards.
decent. I'm gonna give him an 8 for the assist.
Munoz.
That is an intense stare there, Rich.
I'm just
Munoz.
listening.
Munoz 8 as well for the goal.
Justin Lemmer.
7.
Hines.
8. Always decent.
Ebbs.
I don't think he had one of his better games. This was again that he could have really done well in. But I think giving him a 5 is a bit disrespectful. So we're just going to go for a 6 on that one.
If you want to give him a 5, you can give him a 5. Ebbs ain't going to come through the screen and box you in the face.
No, but I feel like it is a bit disrespectful to like. It was just 6. We'll stand on 6.
Saar.
7.
Really?
I've 6.5.
We don't do halves.
Okay, 6 then. No 6. 6.
Mateta, even though he went on for that long.
He wasn't even on enough for me to remember. But obviously he's got
What
in the
did we
right
give
place
him
at the right
for
time.
player ratings?
I think we just gave him middle of the road, sort of 5 or 6, something like that.
No, we gave him a 10.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? Oh, yeah, of course we did. I was there.
I
Forgot about
it's not applicable, is it? Yeah. Nketiah, 8. Obviously he's been asked to step up into an emotional situation. Obviously losing our first team striker. Obviously emotions are running high. I think did well.
Adam Wharton.
I already said I didn't watch the game. I already said this.
They're cooking you.
That's not. How is that me being cooked? I fully admit it. I didn't watch the game. I was busy.
Right, to be fair, it's not cooking. They're just acknowledging that you're born on it.
8.
Sorry.
Romain Esse.
He should have. I thought this should have been the game that he could have played more in. 7.
Justin Devaney.
6.
Nathaniel Klein.
Klein played. That was the question.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he came on. He came on near the end of the game.
5. I didn't actually see that he even came on.
Finally, Mateus França.
10. It's França. He automatic. No, he needs more game time. There we go. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let him have a 10 because he's Mateus França. No, I'll say 7.
I would say I think the loudest the stadium was when everyone was doing the Franza chant. I would say that right at the end.
Yeah,
it actually was. It actually was.
I can imagine it.
Oliver Glasner.
I think it was the correct team to play. I'm glad that he didn't obviously get in into an emotional state following the challenge. He kept himself cool, calm, and collected on the touchline. Didn't get into it with Alex Neil, who's an absolute scumbag. 9.
Ref.
Minus 1,000 million.
A billion.
Not even a number.
A billion.
A billion. Yeah. Wow.
Fans.
10.
Chat. Nicky's performance on player ratings, because Rich got sacked when trying to do it.
I did.
But yeah, that's all cool. Player ratings, that's all. Unless you can think of anyone else to give a rating to, Nicky.
Roy Hodgson.
Patrick Vieira.
Right, someone can drop the link now.
Yeah, JC, if you drop the link.
Instead of JC trying to be a troll all the bloody time.
Big up Tim. I'm going to big up Tim because he's going to join.
I just want to say this before anyone joins, to be fair. A few observations. Like I said, I feel like we played a bit more dynamic when France and Essie were both on. We just seemed to play a lot quicker because obviously playing against a low block. A fair play to Millwall for changing their formation because they went 4-4-1 and we had so much space. Then they changed to 5 and a diamond 4 and we struggled. We struggled to break them down until France and Esse came in and they just were just livelier. Eze was just so slow in his play. This wasn't a game for Sarr. But anyway, we obviously mentioned about Romain Esse. He did a bit too much on the field personally. I think he was obviously doing too much to impress. But him running over and kissing the badge, and if you haven't watched it, go watch his interview on Palace TV. The maturity of the young lad. He said, listen, Sarr and Ed, right now, they're playing very well. So what I can do is I can learn from them. Like, it was such a mature interview from Romain Esse. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check that out. And is there anything else that I've missed out? No. If it comes to me, I'll let you know.
JC,
Tim.
do you want to give Steve Parish a rating? Sorry, Tim.
I think so, because I think that you don't really see many chairmen go onto the pitch and back their players like he did.
Yeah.
Nah, this agenda's so crazy.
I'll give. You know what? I'll give him an 8. You know, as you said,
Well,
he
the
stood by-
crystals.
Well, yeah, the crystals. That was bad timing, Nicky.
Walked into that one.
Some could say they danced into them.
You done?
No, Colin's got one more.
Tim, I saw you put in the chat that you saw Zaha getting the crown.
That is, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? I was actually, I was looking up the Charlotte FC, their schedule to see if they come out to Colorado to play the Rapids. They do not, because they don't have an even number of teams, so they have to sacrifice certain games. So we don't get Wilf out in Colorado this season, which sucks. I was really looking forward to that. I want to go see him. Say that again.
You're gonna wear a crown?
Hell no. Are you kidding me? That's terrible. I don't know. Is that MLS? I don't know if that's MLS. That's just like bad form. That's just terrible. Whatever. I don't know. Yeah, that's terrible. I did see that they stole something from Palace. for their YouTube shorts, they posted "He's just too good for you," which I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, I didn't see that. That's terrible. Ugh, yeah. Less of that, please. And less of Millwall. I do have to apologize to you guys. I was pretty hot yesterday, and I sort of let my emotions out in the response to the player ratings. I was very angry with the Millwall fans. And I'll tell you the thing that I was most angry about, and I guess you guys are there and I don't experience them most of the time, but just two things. It was kind of the let him die thing, but it was really the two things. When he's on the stretcher and they're taking him off and we know he's going to the ambulance, they're booing him. You can go to hell for that one, you pagans. That's number one. And then number two, they're chanting a celebration that he's going to the emergency room. You can go to hell twice. Take a round trip for that one. That was terrible. It really. So I don't know. I let him get in my head a little bit. But hey, you know what? Smashed them. We move on. I don't need to see them ever again, as far as I'm concerned. But I did just the positives. You really do need to see that. I just wanted to double underline what you said about the essay interview. The kid, I mean, he's got his head on right, and I think Glasner is the perfect manager for him. He also did little Nathaniel Klein hat tip. He said, and at the end of his interview, he said, "And South London is ours." It's like, well, you don't need to do anything else to endear yourself
You've
to the Palace.
endeared yourself to the fans 1,000,000%.
You have done what you needed to do, son. Well done. Yeah, that was brilliant. I did like that a lot.
I actually, after this, I'm actually going to see if I can find some more Millwall fans crying in their car, because obviously he's going to clap them over and then came over to us giving it all it is.
Yeah, right. He went over to the Homestale. Right. Yeah. No, that was brilliant. I mean, it just shows that he gets that it's a profession. He's here to do a job, and he knows he's in the right place to progress his career, and he's grateful for that. That is well. That speaks well of him. I was very excited to see França on the pitch. He looks lively. I really think I've been waiting for him to come back. I don't know exactly how it's going to go and how we get him in. But I have a tactics question for you guys, because I do want to see Eddie get a run. Oh, man.
Heard it before. Get original material.
Man, just taking it. Man, brutal. But I wonder if Eddie gets a run. So Dan and JC, this is particularly for you, but really for all of you. It feels like, so the target man option is gone. That to me makes me wonder, and I'm not sure I have this right, so this is a genuine question. It makes me wonder whether you need another out ball, because you're not going to use Eddie as a target man. So you're talking about pushing the wingbacks higher, right? That screams to me you want to have Chilwell in there if you're going to play Eddie as a second out ball.
I agree.
Do you think that's right?
I think so.
Yeah.
For the fact that Chilwell will be that extra runner up front.
Right. Okay.
So you know how
it's an extra body, yeah.
So you know how, I think I said it in my fan cam, like when he runs down the wing, if he can't actually get the ball in his initial run, he'll sort of screen across the back of the centre backs and then stand around and then be onside, and then he'll go again for another run. So he's able to make a slightly different run to maybe what Nketiah will do. So in that case, you're going to sort of have a 4 up front kind of thing, aren't you? Because you're going to have Eze, Chilwell, Nketiah, Sarr. So you still have 4 runners up front. So yes, you're taking out maybe a midfielder or striker, but you're adding a fullback this time.
Yeah, and on that note as well, Eddie Nketiah leads crosses into the box.
A million, yeah, you do.
And
okay,
Chilwell will get that more than like Ty may stop and then pass it back, but Chilwell will just be like, all right, there, and just whip it in every time.
Well, and isn't this we didn't get? I know Eddie hasn't had the best start to life, but when he has to play outside of the posts, that's when he's at his weakest. If we can keep him inside the posts, then he's and he can just make direct run. He's probably going to give us more goals.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a long-held opinion about Nketiah that I know is very unpopular amongst the fan base, but I actually think Nketiah will turn out to be a good signing. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, I think we expect Mateta to leave in the summer, I think. And I think Glasner's, I know Glasner had Weghorst, who was a big striker, but then correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't really know loads about Kolo Muani, but Kolo Muani's not a big target man striker, I don't think. So
he kind of is.
Okay. Well, I think Glasner knows the strengths of his players and the strength of his team, and I think he will find a way for Nketiah to fit into the system. Whether that means that, maybe that means that, you know, we Chilwell plays really high or whatever. I think I do genuinely believe that he'll find a way to make it work. So maybe rather than like doing long sort of like diagonal passes into Mateo, maybe we just hit it over the top, or maybe we do a lot more crosses from deep or something like that. I don't know, but I definitely think he'll find a way for it.
I think the added benefit is that our next game obviously is Ipswich Town. I think this, you know, and I'm following that. I believe it's Southampton. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those are two games that on paper, you know, we should be winning. You know, we should expect to win. I think this give or take, maybe if Mateta plays or not, chance for. I think this could be a chance for whoever plays up top, be it Ismail Assar or Eddie Nketiah, as we discussed earlier in the show. I think there are goals in those games, but I think staying with what we know. And with the expected lineup is probably what's best. And if, say, Este or França are ready to, you know, play in a starting position, it could mean that we could move Ismail Assar into the striker position, or perhaps maybe bringing Nketiah into that position. But it's a change of tactics from what is expected and what is known from Palace.
I mean, I would. The reason I'd like to see this, and I feel like it's going to be harsh on Ty to play Chilwell, but it feels essential at this point. But I still think it would be harsh on him, but it feels like the right move. Having said that, I like the idea. If you play Sarr up front, then it's a different structure, and it allows you to change the game. You can play differently. And I think Glasner does very well when he has options to play differently depending upon his situation. That's one of his. I mean, I think that's one of his greatest strengths as a manager. Yeah,
I think for me personally, Sarr up front is a good idea, but I don't think his touch is good enough for him to be a one up front kind of guy. I feel like if you're going to play him up front and be successful with it, you need two up there. Which is why I would probably still play Nketiah in the centre with Sarr on the right and Eze on the left. Because as we've been playing all season, Eze drops that little bit to then allow Sarr and Nketiah to go a little bit more central. So in a weird way, if you play Nketiah up top with Sarr alongside him, you could play similar to how he played against Aston Villa away. It will transition into a two up front, with Sarr on the right and Nketiah on the left, which is what I would think is the better way of doing it. Because if you have Sarr up top on his own, who are you going to play on the right? Romain Esse? I mean, that could work, but I mean, I would still rather have Nketiah up front if you're going to play Esse on the right.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because when I look back at the game yesterday, the amount of runs Eddie made in behind,
A lot.
The pass weren't good, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and against an Ipswich who potentially they'll look to play on the break. Granted, they play some good football. We're going to need them to just keep being pushed back as far as possible. You know?
Well, yeah, and then Ipswich is a team that we should be able to get. I mean, again, I'm making an assumption here, and assumptions are dangerous, but they push their fullbacks up constantly. They push up. Why am I forgetting his last name? The left back, the Ipswich left back. Help me out here.
Leif Davis.
Thank you, Leif Davis. He is constantly leaving space behind. That is tailor-made for Munoz. So we should be able to get some joy in that game. Yeah, okay. I mean, we're also going to see 2 games without Yuzi. So you're going to have Wharton and Lerma. I'm not all that. I mean, I love Yuzi, but I'm not that mad about it, especially if you're going to get the thing that I think, if Chilwell is the extra out ball and we are playing the wingbacks up high, that prevents whoever we're playing of just crowding out Wharton. You have to think whoever we're going to play, they are going to be marking Wharton if they can.
I mean, they're gonna have to.
Mm-hmm. They really don't have any choice. You can't let that guy turn and dictate. But I don't know that if we're getting the ball out though, and getting it wide, then he can move into pockets of space and be as dangerous as he always is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
good point. Guys, just to remind you that the link is in the chat there. Join us. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Tim, let me ask you a question. What is your reaction to the Fulham draw?
I like it. I think it's. I mean, I was worried about having to go to City or having to go to Brighton too early. I mean, if we can get to a final, and if we get to a final against Brighton, I don't know what I'm going to have to do to try to make it happen, but I will bust my ass to see if I can make it happen. I don't know. It's not going to be up to me, but I will bust my ass to see if I can do it, because that's like a once in a lifetime thing. So, but yeah, I think that's as decent as a draw. It's not perfect, but that's as decent as a draw that you could hope for. We have a pretty good. I mean, I think we match up pretty well against Fulham. That's a game that we can win. Can't ask for much more than that. It's a game that we can win.
Yep. So the full quarterfinal tie is due to be played the last weekend of this month on March. So that those games could very well be played from the 28th to the 31st of March.
Yeah. Ours is the 29th.
That's what I said. Between
those,
it's between those 2 days.
Saturday the 29th of March.
29th.
So it could be. Yeah, that's like I said.
I don't think I can make it.
So the full draw is Fulham versus Crystal Palace, as we already know. Preston North End versus Aston Villa. Bournemouth versus Manchester City, and Brighton will face the winners of Nottingham Forest and Ipswich Town at home. Are we headed? But and yet again, manager on his first full season with Palace, and Wembley is another return to Wembley. Yet again,
that's all I want. I just want to get that to Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a bit of a downer, but I do. Like, I was looking at the numbers for like trying to go for it in the league, but I think when the FA Cup is this open and you potentially get a Europa League travel and a trophy, like I think you just got to go. I think you just got to go for it
now.
Because I mean, I was looking at the league and I was looking at the league, and to catch the teams in 6th and 7th and 7th and 8th who are on, like, if they get the same amount of points per game as they have for the rest of the season, we have to average something stupid like 2.3 points a game or something crazy like that. So
yeah, we got.
I think that is a bit far gone personally. But like I said, the cup, I think it's just. I think if anyone's going to win it this year, it's this. I think it's this year.
Do you think? Does your math change at all, Dan? If the EPL gets 5 Champions League spots, because there's a
scenario that goes down to 9th, isn't it? There's a scenario where Conference League goes to 9th place.
Right.
Does it really?
It's unlikely, but it can happen.
Yeah. So how could that happen? Because I was trying to look into it, but I couldn't find any definitive answers.
I think that the main stipulation is that I think Arsenal, one of the English teams, have to win the Champions League, which I don't think is going to happen. So Arsenal have to win it. I think they're the only one left in, aren't they?
But I was always under the impression that if Arsenal were to win it, the place that they would have for being the defending champions, that doesn't go to the next place in the league. That never does. I think it's only if Villa finished 6th, between 6th and 7th, then I think it drops down. But then even then, I'm not 100% sure.
And then the other stipulation there is Man City have to win the FA Cup, and one of the top guys have to win the Carabao Cup as well.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
But it's like a very long shot, but it is possible. But I don't think it'll happen. I think when Burnley got into Europa League, I'm pretty sure it went down to 7th or 8th because everything fell in the right way.
Yeah, I think so. Because they had to go through playoffs, and I know. And actually, to be fair, it's not just City as well. If Newcastle win the FA Cup, they went out, didn't they? If Forest win the FA Cup, then they and assuming that they finish top.
There is also the UEFA European coefficients when that gets put into consideration as well. There's a chance there, but it's a very, very complicated thing. But it does depend.
Chairman's got it here.
Domestics. There you go.
Villa have to win Champions League, and either Spurs or United have to win the Europa League.
So that's a good chance for Spurs or United, to be honest.
Yeah, but then surely they would have to finish top 8.
To
apply because they have to finish top 8
as well.
But
it has to be Spurs that win it.
Yeah, because if they
remember, they automatically get a Champions League space.
No, they don't.
But as in, like, if it was to drop down to 9th, they would have to finish in a place that they've already got it.
Gotcha.
Because otherwise, they can finish anywhere and they'll get it, and it'll still go.
Let's say United win it and they finish in 15th. It's not going to drop. It's just going to be 15, and then everything from one down. So the only way of doing it is probably Spurs, isn't it? Spurs are. Man United and Spurs are both down there.
Yeah.
So
they're both below us.
They're both below us right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we should win the Europa League.
So we gotta get in it. I think. I mean, I wouldn't. I'll make a reckless statement. I think this team has the capacity not only to win the cup, but if we were to win the cup, get into the Europa League, I think it could keep the team together, add 1 or 2, and we'd have a real go at. I mean, with a Europa winning manager at our side, I think we could have a real shot at it.
You could keep Mateta.
That's the key. Like, this is the only thing I worry about is I worry about this being we have a really good run and then we get gutted again, which is just going to piss me off. Pardon me, heading into the summer. So we need a good run that ends in something.
Yeah.
What did you say, Max?
I'm just going back through the comments just to see. I think it might have been this one here. 5th place is for coefficient, and then average which country gets further in European competitions. I think at the moment Spain are top of the coefficients because of because I think of all their teams that are in all 3 levels of Europe right now.
Let me Google it.
Yeah, there's an article. There's like worded. There's a worded page on the Premier League website about how the places get divided up, but it is a lot of technical jargon, and I'm not about to read all that out. I could understand it. But yeah, I think it's just depends on domestic competitions, the winners of those, their league places, and then obviously the say if we get 2 winners of Champions League and Europa League, then there's that. And then I think it depends on where Chelsea finishes as well, because if they win Conference League and they finish high enough, I think their Europa League place gets handed down as well. And then it's a lot of implications because you're guaranteed you're guaranteed a lot of winners because EFL Trophy as well gets Conference League playoffs. That will get handed down because it's Liverpool and Newcastle. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. As of the 20th of February, which was the last lot of games, England are currently top at the moment. 6 of 7 clubs still in it. Second is Italy with 5 of 8 clubs still in it. Third is Spain at the moment. Spain and Italy aren't too far away. We're on 106.6 points, whatever that means. Italy are on 93.4. Spain are on 89.1. Then it's Germany and France. They're a bit of a way behind.
And I think the route of the Europa, specifically, sorry, I'll shut up. Specifically, the route of the Europa League keeps Manchester United and Spurs separate until the possibility of both teams getting into the final. So they will not be playing each other through the route of the Europa League until, say, if both teams get to the final.
Cool. Fair enough.
But there we go. Anything else to say, gentlemen? No? Well, massive thank you to everyone in the comments. Tim, as always, thank you for joining us as well. Always appreciated. We're through to the quarterfinal, guys. We will face Fulham at the end of March to face them for a place in the semi-finals. Wembley is on the line. What's coming up this week, guys? Are we back to a normal week of content?
Yep, normal scheduling for Ipswich.
There we go.
Yeah, Caps Eagle Tuesday.
Yep.
I don't think anything's happening on Monday. With the women's thing, does that still?
I've yet because I've been off of work.
The only thing to happen for the women's is that they sacked their manager,
and we've hired a new one.
And they got a new guy called Leaf. I think Randa said, I think it's time for them to open a new leaf. So I said that you should be sin binned for that one. So Tactical Tuesday. I don't think anything's happening Wednesday. Probably preview Thursday. Nothing Friday, and then game on Saturday. Was a game on Sunday? I can't remember.
Saturday 3 p.m.
Yeah, and then
tell chairman it's not 5:30.
Yeah, we will tell chairman it's not 5:30 because he tried to gaslight everyone into thinking it was 5:30.
We would have been standing there doing the fight camps, so you'd have said, "I'll make my way to the stadium."
Right. Well, yeah. Thank you again. Thank you to everyone in the comments. Thank you to the panel, guys. Nothing else but to say, up the Palace. Thank you very much, guys. Eagle.